slideshow so that everything will be good.
Network.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we are going to do Wikimedia project, and Wikimedia tech. Next slide. So imagine a world in which every single person on the planet Earth is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge. This was a quote from Jimmy Wales, the co-founder of Wikipedia. Yes, Wikipedia was the first project of Wikimedia, but a lot of people they misinterpret what Wikipedia is. They don't. A lot of people don't know what Wikimedia is, and a lot of people don't know anything about Wikimedia project. So I am going to run you down through this. A lot of you may have come across Wikipedia in one way or the other, maybe while making research. If you try Google search for something right now, one of the pages that will pop up first, which I am very sure the page that will come up first is Wikipedia. So, and sometimes people think that Wikipedia is written by AI, but then it is human being like you and I that put the information there, but we don't just put it, we work based on the reliable source. So I am going to explain Wikimedia, tell you about Wikimedia Foundation, and tell you about Wikimedia projects, tell you what is available in Nigeria and globally. Then we are going to go. Next slide, please. So in case this is your first time, Wikimedia is a global free knowledge movement dedicated to creating, collecting, and sharing educational content. So I'll be picking some words which are very key words. So when we talk, there's a free knowledge movement there. So what we are focused on, just like the quote from Jimmy Wales, we are focused on making the sum of all knowledge free to everybody on earth, every human having access to some of free knowledge. And how do we do this? We create articles. Yes, we create articles. We collect information from reliable sources online together, and we share them in form of educational content for everybody to have access to, and everybody can use them, not just use. If I put any information outside there and you see that the information is incomplete, or there's something that is there that is actually not correct, you can also edit it. Yeah, everybody can edit. So you don't have to be have a particular certificate or a particular qualification before you can edit any Wikimedia project. All you just have to get is a Wikimedia account, which is very simple to create. It is more simpler creating than your normal Facebook account. And of course, anybody can distribute the information. This is the part that the research part on inside. So whether you are a student, a professional, or a researcher, you can actually go to Wikimedia or any of the Wikimedia projects, look for whatever you are looking you want. Once you get it, you can create the information and you can redistribute it without anybody telling you are stealing my information or you are doing anything wrong. So, and like I said before, it is powered by millions of volunteers. Yes, all of us that contribute to Wikimedia projects, we are not paid staff. Unlike the news firms where you see somebody is employed and the person gets news at the end of the day, the person is being paid salary. For Wikimedia, all of us, we have volunteers at this. We do this freely, out of passion, and we do it in our free time. So we have volunteers and we have contributors. Now, everybody that contributes to Wikimedia projects, we have different parts which we contribute to. So whether you are a librarian, whether you are a researcher, whether you are a computer scientist, a tech person, there's a space for you on the Wikimedia space. And of course, we have affiliates. These are small groups in places, countries, continents that contribute to Wikimedia projects, and partners from around the world. They are the ones that collaborate together to make the knowledge free and accessible to everyone. And these partners bring the funds that we use to fund Wikimedia projects. Next slide, please. Yes, and all these things that I've said so far, we don't just do them like that. There is a body that's managed and govern everything that happens in the Wikimedia space, which is the Wikimedia Foundation. So you'll be hearing me say WMF a whole lot of times. So whenever you hear WMF, that is Wikimedia Foundation. WMF is a non-profit organization based in San Francisco, California. United States. They are the one that support the operation of the Wikimedia project. So WMF was established in 2023. They manage everything that happens in the Wikimedia space, the governance, the sharing of funds, raising funds, security, organizational resources, and even funding conferences. Like as I'm talking to you now, the global Wikimedia contributors are in Paris right now, and they are attending the global Wikimedia conference, WikiMedia. So it happens every year. Last year was in Kenya. Yes. So Wikimedia Foundation funds all these conferences, funds the project, the contribution, and of course, this kind of research summer class that we are doing. You know, we say the Wiki in Africa is a funder, but Wiki in Africa actually is a fiscal sponsor, while Wikimedia Foundation is a funder. So Wikimedia Foundation, they are the one in charge of funding projects like this, giving funds to local communities around the world to contribute to Wikimedia projects. So in as much as our volunteers are doing this work, we don't pay them salary, but we support them with funds to get data and whatever it is, devices that will help them contribute freely. So next slide, please. And here we have Wikimedia project. Yes, it's a family tree of a collaborative and a multilingual website supported by the Wikimedia Foundation. You see the progression, right? We already know about Wikimedia, what it is. We know about Wikimedia Foundation, and we are talking about the project which Wikimedia Foundation funds. So that is where we are right now. So imagine, let me give you an example. Imagine a Dangote company. It's a group of company, right? Very large, but with different products. You have the spaghetti, you have the salt, and the cement sugar, and the rest of them. That is how Wikimedia Foundation is. The foundation is just like the Dangote company, but the projects are just like Dangote products. So for Wikimedia project, the popular one that everybody knows is Wikipedia. But there are a whole lot of projects outside Wikipedia. We have a whole lot of them. Wikipedia was the first one, which came in 2021, and the latest Wikimedia project, which is a wiki function, came in 2023. So 2001 for Wikipedia, yeah, and 2023 for wiki function. So let's go. Next slide, please. Now, this project, they focus on different things. Wikipedia, we write articles, you see article forms. There are projects that focus on different topics and are written in different ways. So we have Wikimedia Commons. Now, Wikipedia is not here, which is not part of this project that are here. But then we have Wikipedia, which is a normal one that we know, the article form. You go there, read full article, biography about somebody, the stages of life, the things that the person has done, their achievements, and all of that. So that is Wikipedia. Then we have Wikimedia Commons. Wikimedia Commons, this is my favorite project, and this is the one I contribute to mostly. A lot of persons prefer writing on Wikipedia, but I prefer contributing to this particular project. This project is a media project. So if you are a photographer, a videographer, or whatever you do, I think this is the best project for you. This is where we document all the images, video, audio, PDFs, and everything that are used on Wikipedia. We keep them on this particular project. And once it's on this project, you can attach it to any of the wiki projects. So I'm not going to stay long on Wikimedia Commons. We have the Wiki Voyage. It's just like a travel guide. You have a Google Maps. Google Maps can direct you where you go to. But Wiki Voyage can tell you how to reach where you are going. For example, I want to leave Akwa Ibom, Uyo to Abuja, and I go to Wiki Voyage. I can search on Wiki Voyage. How do I get to Abuja from Uyo? Wiki Voyage will give me options on where the mode of transportation, either if there is train available, if I'm to use road, if I'm to fly by air. Wiki Voyage will give me options. And Wiki Voyage will tell me how to reach a particular place to pick the means of transportation. And of course, the places I can eat when I get to Abuja, the places I can stay, and all of that. That is Wiki Voyage. Then we have Wiktionary, which is the second project that came after Wikipedia was the first. Wiktionary was the second. And just like the name is, Wiktionary is a free dictionary. Whatever you are looking for, people have documented a whole lot of words on Wiktionary. And the sweetest thing about it is we have them in different languages. So you have the Igbo Wiktionary right now. We have a Wiktionary in French and other languages, but the first one was in English. And the sweetest thing about it is any word that you see on Wiktionary in English, it is linked to the same word is linked in other languages. So if I have book on Wiktionary and I want to find the meaning of book in French, it is linked together. I just have to click on one link and I'll see what book means in French, in Igbo, or other language. Then the next one we have here is the Wiki Books, just like the name sound, books. So it is a free textbook that you can go and read. You have a whole lot of textbooks that you can read. Instead of going to buy them outside or looking for them online, just go to Wikibooks. You will find them. And of course, we have Wiki News, just like the name sounds. It's a free news sources. You don't need to pay to read news on Wiki News. All of them are free. Then Wikidata. If you have not come across Wikidata before, I think you are missing a lot. I can say Wikidata is the largest data source in the whole world right now. This project is very rich, and if you are good, if since we are doing research here, I am very sure 100% that you are going to work with Wikidata a whole lot because this contains structured information about so many things that you can look for. I am working on a project currently, and we are documenting. We have words in Igbo that are documented already, but these words they don't have audio pronunciations. So, for example, if I say book in Igbo, what is book called in Igbo? It is documented there in the Igbo local language, but the pronunciation is not there. And I was to work on this data is very large. How do I get this list out? Do I need to start looking for the Igbo words one after the other and be searching for the one that does not have audio? I said no, that is going to take a whole lot of time, but we just did a query and tell Wikidata we give us the list of Igbo words on Wikidata that are missing audio pronunciation, and Wikidata brought thousands of them out. It is very simple like that. You can make queries like that and everything will come out. So Wikidata has a whole lot of information. Whatever you are looking for, you will find it on Wikidata. And this particular project was created by Wikimedia Dutchland in 2012. And it has been my favorite project after Wikimedia Commons actually. And of course, we have the Wikiversity. So just like the name sounds like a university, right? You see free course material here. You can learn a whole lot of things on Wikiversity. Then we have Wiki Quotes. Here we document quotes from notable people, right? Not just everybody. Notable people. You see people like Chinua Achebe, Nelson Mandela, Shakespeare. All of them you have their notable quotes on this particular project. And one of the things, the thing about this project is the fact that the project is multilingual. You have it in different languages. We currently have in Nigeria, we have Igbo Wiki quotes. That's the one I know in Nigeria. But then you have it in other African languages and other global languages. And of course, I'm going to skip Media Wiki. I will come to it. I'm going to talk about it last. Then we have a Wikisource. So Wikisource is a free library. You know, remember when I started, I said even if you're a librarian, there is something for you here. So this is a free library where you can keep materials. So if you think about old newspapers that maybe in the next 10 years you will not find them on, you will not find them around, you can just scan them and keep them on Wikisource. So it's a free library where you can keep reference materials and all of that. And the next one is a wiki species, just like the name sounds, species. So you can find the different species of animals, plants, and all of that. They are documented here. And we have a meta wiki, the community coordination and documentation. So like this project, this 6 that we are doing now, the first time I heard about 6, I wanted to know more about it. I didn't go to 6 websites because I know if this is related to Wikimedia, projects that I is going on and the ones that we are planning to do, including our grant applications. Maybe you want to apply for grant to do a particular project, and yes, you want to see what somebody has done before, how the person went about it, the process, and everything. This is where we document it. There is wiki functions, which is there. So we write functions there, functions that you can just query and it will give you a particular result. We write some wiki functions. Then the final one that I'm going to talk about is the media wiki. So this is the tech house of the whole Wikimedia project. So the tools and everything that we use on the Wikimedia space, everything that runs at the back end is built on the media wiki. So it is a free and open Wikimedia application. So this is where we build them, and this is where everything happens. So these are the Wikimedia projects, almost all the Wikimedia projects. Next, please. And of course, there is one that is not here, the Wikimedia incubator, right? So, for example, sometime last, I think 2022, yeah, sometime 2022, we started, wanted to start my language Wikipedia, which is a data language Wikipedia. The Wikipedia, and you start working on it. So, first of all, you take it to the incubator. So, it is just like the name incubator. It is a place where you build it, you see whether it can survive, whether you have people that contribute to it. So that is where you build it. So most of the time we do it for language wikis, like the Wiki Project, Wiktionary, Wikisource, Wikipedia that has their projects in different language. All of them, the language ones start from incubator before they come outside. So now we are going to talk about why Wikimedia matters in research. Why Wikimedia matters in research. So you may be thinking, okay, we are doing SIPs, then why are we using Wikimedia for research and not Google? You know, when you talk about searching for something, a whole lot of people knows about Google as a search engine where you can get everything. But the irony is this: Google depends on other websites to get their information, which Wikimedia is one of the top, the major website where we get information from. So this is the sweetest thing about Wikimedia, and this is why it is very important in research. Wikimedia is open. It is freely accessible. You can access it at any time, and there's nothing like somebody is blocking you or there's something blocking you from getting information. Nothing like, there are times to search for something online, and once you get there, they'll be like, before you access it, you have to pay this particular sum of money and all that. Wikimedia is very free. You can get whatever you want from Wikimedia, and the information is up to date. I don't know if any of you followed the World Cup yesterday. If you followed World Cup yesterday, immediately France scored that first goal. Spain, immediately Spain scored that first goal. If you refresh after 30 seconds, it has been updated. Yeah, because Wikimedians are always active and they are updating information immediately. Word of mouth, they have reliable sources that they are using to back it up. So it is very open, freely accessible, and it has up-to-date knowledge. That is number one. And the sweetest thing about it is this: all information on Wikimedia space is under CC license, which is the Creative Commons license. This license is very free, but it has different versions of it, and it actually controls how information are being shared and how they are being used. So the CC license is actually a free license. What you can pick anything that you see under a CC license, and you can use them for free. But the different version of the license, there are some that says whenever you are using a work from somebody, you have to give credit to that person, that this work belongs to that person. For CCO, that is the Creative Commons 0, you can actually pick somebody's work and don't use it. So the good thing about Wikimedia works is this: everything is under a free license. So it is very good for research. You don't have to go and meet somebody and take permission that I saw your work online and I've been a research and I would like to use your work. You don't need to do that when you are using Wikimedia works for research. And of course, Wikimedia has a massive data set for computational research. Just like I said about Wikidata, there is a whole lot of data sets on Wikimedia, not just Wikidata, the whole Wikimedia project. Whatever you are looking for, you find it there. And of course, AI rely on Wikimedia to get their information. So Wikimedia powers artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and of course, language knowledge graphs. Then the next one is it supports reproducible and open science. Whatever you get from Wikimedia projects, you can reproduce them. Yeah, you can do research with them, you can reproduce them, get new information. And there's one thing that I didn't put here, which is the fact that whatever information that you see on Wikimedia, it has sources that back them up. So if anybody writes, for example, on Wikipedia, if anybody writes a full page about somebody, you don't need to go and look for where the person gets the information from. because as the person is writing them, the person is dropping the link. So if you are doing a research about a particular thing or a particular person and you find it on Wikimedia, you don't have to be going around to be looking for how this information comes here. If somebody mentioned Obi is a boy, there is a link attached to it that proves that Obi is a boy. So Wikimedia is very good when it comes to research, and of course, it preserves cultural and local knowledge. Yeah, it does a lot. A whole lot of us are working on documenting our culture. I'm working on documenting Igala culture in Igala language, and Dekan is working on documenting Ibibio culture. Shin also is working on documenting the Igbo culture and all of that. And all of us are using our local language. And of course, it bridges academic research and public knowledge. You can, when you are doing research, you don't have to stress. You have a whole lot of information available on Wikimedia with with a reliable link backing them up. And of course, it enables global collaboration and interdisciplinary research. Next slide, please. Yes, so we have a global initiative. So you may be thinking about how do these contributions come, the information that people put online, is it all the time that a particular person will sit down and be working? No, it's not like that most of the time. So, for example, we have the global campaigns and initiatives here. One of them is the photography campaigns. We have a whole lot of them, but these are the ones that I want to pick out. We have the Wikiloss Africa, which is a project that I manage. We document African culture and heritage with this project. And how do we do it? By taking pictures, making videos, and audios. That is how we do it. And we did the 12th iteration this year. And the next one is the Lost Monuments. Just like the name sounds, monuments, monumental buildings, anything that is monument. This is what is documented by with this project, and it's a photography project. We have the Wiki Lost Earth, natural places, and all of that. Green places and all. We document that with Wiki Lost Earth. Then Wiki Lost Folklore focus on culture from different places all around the world, and the Wiki Lost Ramadan focus on Ramadan, right? Muslim stuffs and all of that. So, and of course, we have another one, the one lead, one ref, one librarian providing one reference. So, this particular project encourages librarians to improve Wikipedia by adding reliable citation. So, in as much as people are working on Wikipedia, there are admins that are patrolling, checking the works on Wikipedia, and whenever they find that there's a particular work that a particular statement that is being made or a particular thing that is being said in an article, but then the source to back it up is not strong. They tag it with the template citation needed. So with one lead, one ref, we work on the articles that have citation needed templates on them to look for more resources that backs the claim of that this claim is actually right. So we do that by with the one lead, one ref. So it is our way of improving Wikimedia project and making sure that the information there are up to date and they are correct. Then we have the gender gap campaigns. These campaigns are focused on filling gender gaps, representing women, and making sure that women are well represented on the Wikimedia space. And one of them is the art and feminism. We have the feminism and folklore. We have the Wiki Gap, and we have the Wiki Lost Women, she said, which is one of the projects of Wiki in Africa. And of course, we have reading Wikipedia in the classroom, like I mentioned earlier, on the Wikimedia space. We have everybody featured in. So reading Wikipedia in the classroom is a project for educators. If you are a lecturer, if you are a teacher in secondary school or primary school, this particular campaign is for you. We use this to equip educators and students with Wikipedia literacy. We teach them how to use Wikipedia to make research and also how to contribute to Wikipedia. And of course, there's a particular project that is being run by Wikimedia Nigeria, which is focused mainly on lecturers and we have wiki projects, music, focus on different topics, different disciplines, and all of that. So they are there. And of course, the last thing I'm going to talk about on this is a Wikimedia hackathon. So this Wikimedia hackathon is a space where people that web designer, developers, they come and they contribute to fixing all the tools and that we use for Wikimedia research, and we use on the Wikimedia space to make our work very easy. So that is what the Wikimedia hackathon does. And of course, we have the three main hackathons that I'm going to talk about. We have the general Wikimedia hackathon, which is organized yearly as a conference, and developers go there and they contribute to this project, contribute to fixing tools that have bugs and creating more tools. And of course, we have the WikiMentor Africa hackathon. WikiMentor Africa is an initiative by the Igbo Wikimedia user group. They do hackathon to fix bugs, do technical documentations, and all of that. Then there's a community, African Wikimedia technical community. They also do hackathon, and there's this particular wiki project and campaign that focus on African. We have two of them. We have the African Wiki Challenge, focus on bridging gaps, knowledge gaps about Africa, making sure that African is well represented on the Wikimedia space. And we have the African Afro Creative Wiki Project plus film. So that one is focused on documenting details of actors, movie stars in Africa as a whole. Next slide, please. And finally, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about before I hand over to Anglican, which is the Wikimedia community in Nigeria. So the Wikimedia community in Nigeria, I think Nigeria, I know Nigeria has the largest Wikimedia community in the whole world. So we have a whole lot of community in Nigeria, not just having the Wikimedia community, a very active Wikimedia community. So we have about 7 of them that are active. One is a general focus on general projects, Wikimedia projects, while the rest focus on language-based projects. So we have the Wikimedia User Group Nigeria, which is the first Wikimedia community that came into Nigeria, and is the largest so far. Wikimedia User Group Nigeria has networks around different places, which we also have one in Akwa Ibom here, and of course we have fan clubs in different schools, University of Lagos, Kwara State University, and different schools around Nigeria. Even we have one in Oka also. That's number one. And we have the Igbo Wikimedia User Group. Igbo Wikimedia User Group is focused on representing Igbo culture. They do projects that relates to Igbo culture, and of course they are focused on writing articles, putting out information in Igbo language. So, for example, if you are looking for information about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is not an Igbo person, but you can read about Nelson Mandela in Igbo. So that is what the Igbo Wikimedia User Group do. That's number one. And of course, we have the Hausa. The Hausa is just doing the same thing that Igbo is doing, but they are doing theirs in Hausa language. We have the Yoruba Wikimedia User Group. They are doing the same thing that Igbo and Hausa are doing, but they are doing it in Yoruba language. We have the Tiap Wikimedia community. Tiap is a language in Kaduna, and they are doing the same thing, writing articles, putting out information in Tiap language, at the same time representing Tiap culture, making sure that everything is well documented. We have the Fufude, which is there also. They are doing the same thing.
That goes up to Wikipedia and its sister projects. They are being contributed by people, by volunteers just like us. So you need to get the knowledge on how to contribute to Wikipedia and sister projects. So here in Akwa Ibom State, we mentor, we organize trainings, and we also embark on photo walks for photographic competitions. You mentioned the Wiki Love Africa, Wiki Love Earth. So for all of this, we do go out for photo walks to take pictures of things that are related to each of these campaigns. So apart from the trainings that we organize, we also we are currently working on how to bring to board the EBBO Wikipedia. So currently in Nigeria, we have different language versions. We have the Igbo Wikipedia, the Gala, and a whole lot. So currently in Akwa Ibom network. So okay, first of all, our name is the Wikimedia User Group Nigeria Akwa Ibom Network, and I already mentioned that we organize capacity buildings, trainings, mentorship, and educators. We also have community engagement that we do carry out in our community here in our private state. And we contribute to Wikipedia and its sister projects. We also ensure that the knowledge from within our private state and Nigeria at large is is what our contributors, our volunteers here can contribute to Wikipedia. So for the incubator, currently we have for the incubator we okay for the incubator we currently work with language in institution, like there's a language school we partnered with recently. That's the Ibibio Life Enterprise. That's a school in Akwa Ibom State here. They teach both young and adults, both young and elderly people on how to write in Ibibio. So we partner with them. We also train their students on how they can help us contribute, because we don't just want to contribute anyhow right off in Ibibio. We need those we need all those the hyphens, and I don't even know the word for that for Ibibio. We have all those okay, all the punctuation, yes, all the punctuations, and we need to get it right. So that's why we partner with them, so that we can get it right. So this what we do in on Wikipedia, it helps us build the language, natural language, helps us build the natural language process, whereby we make sure any content that comes up to Wikipedia is being translated to.
Alice, we have lost audio. We've lost audio. We can only see the screen share. We've lost the audio. Do you hear us? Hello, Alice, can you hear us? No, we cannot. We cannot hear you. Yeah, sincere apologies. We're actually making arrangements to get Starlink from tomorrow so that this hitch doesn't happen anymore. It's just annoying how the local network providers are just very unreliable. So we're getting Starlink for the rest of the program from tomorrow, right? So we can be sure that this doesn't happen
For the
from tomorrow.
WikiMedia plan, it's been focused, it's an international organization that's been focused on galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. So for people that work on things related to archives, galleries, and museums, these are thematics group you can be part of. We also have wiki project lesson, and we also have the technical where we have hackathons and tool developments. Sometimes we do have hackathons whereby people across Africa contribute to solve works and we create works together. We also have wiki project lesson. And for the wiki project lesson, this is actually related to people in the medical whereby it contributes to contribute to Wikipedia and its sister projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Vikan, for that wonderful presentation. I want to believe that you must have heard a couple of projects that is going on in Akwa Ibom State. And one of our major convener of Six Nigeria Real Experience is a medical doctor. And though we don't have any medical doctor in this team, but you can hear that they are the medical doctor. Okay, and it's pharmacist. Okay, so you can key into that part of Wiki in Akwa Ibom State. Mention some other projects in Akwa Ibom State. I don't know if anyone can remember. Do you remember any of that contribution? So the Wiki women. So I think that can impress the women that are based in Akwa Ibom here to join the Wiki team. So thank you very, very much for that presentation. So I would be having
So first of all, I'd like us to understand what Wikimedia research is all about. So Wikimedia research uses scientific methods to better understand Wikimedia projects and to improve how we serve people around the world. It generates evidence that supports the development of new technologies. It also supports Wikimedia's products, programs, and long-term. The research committee serves the affiliates that we have, the volunteers that we have, as well as researchers who want to talk their ideas to openly share knowledge in the long run. And all of this is on the principle of transparency. So when you're working on, there needs to be a huge amount of transparency, collaboration, and data privacy. one of the challenges we face is that we have a lot of issues with privacy. People want to know how this data is stored, shared, and used, and they want to know who they are positive because some persons will not want to really participate in research because we don't have that clearly defined research. There are also cases of digital barriers. There are a lot of other cases as well. But primarily in research, we try to work closely with academic and industrial partners. We try to use tools that are freely accessible to everyone. So regardless of your skill level, you can find or read it and build upon it. That was the idea. We also, I think in the previous session, we really spoke about some of the projects we have. So one of the very important projects we have is the Media Wiki. So the Media Wiki is the software that powers Wikimedia and others. And it has, you find a lot of templates, APIs, extensions, user management, and so many researchers install Media Wiki to build collaborative knowledge.
Switch this. We can switch that. If you can switch, you can plug this in. Continue.
Okay.
Change your screen. This. Okay.
So why do researchers use emphasize data? Already emphasize it. Whatever information, whatever data, that we want to find out about. You don't need to pay any amount of money. Whatever information, whatever data, that your data to find is open. You don't need to pay any amount of money. And that is what your right for that. That is what your data is for that research. So in that scale, you can build on sufficient information already to drive your research. We also have information in other languages. Quality is helping to shape the future of digital technology and the world entirely. So at the end of the day, you see that what you can find in English, you can find in English, you can find in you're helping to bridge the gap. Also, the data is well documented and it is community centered. Wikimedia projects are community focused. So without the people, you can't find the project standing. It is the volunteers, the pool of volunteers who do the work, who actually make the contributions, who write those articles, who source for those data, who find reliable sources to back it up as references and put them available so that at the end of the day, you have something tangible that you can actually go back to and say, so without the community, you won't find anything to use or to rely on. So the community powers the movement, basically. And if you're in computational social science, if you're in digital humanities, if you're in public health, political science, or linguistics, whichever field you find yourself, these Wikimedia platforms and projects are ideal for you and for your research interests as well. So there are different research opportunities. Now we have the rise of AI. And then what AI is doing is that it's helping to make the knowledge and information better. Although there are also the positive side of it. and then the negative side of it as well. But generally, the good outweighs the bad. And one thing you understand that AI needs to build upon data. So you have to feed the AI for it to supply you an information. If there's no data anywhere, the AI will not be able to get what to answer. Imagine now we have ChatGPT, for example, and you go to ChatGPT or other LLMs and you ask a question. If there's nothing you can pull to find data, you can't give a response. So most of the LLMs and all of the Wikimedia projects are helping to support the natural language processing and the build of AI, chatbots, and other technologies. So they try to pull data from Wikidata, Wikipedia, and other wikis. It's being recorded. And they use it to build upon the project. So for example, if I'm AI engineer now, I will try to find large data sets that I can use to build upon what, for example, I want to create a chatbot that is health related. So in a way that if I ask the bot any question related to medical or health, it's going to give me a response. So what I need to do is to find large data sets related to medicine and health, and then I pull those data and feed it. And so at the end of the day, it has a lot of information gathered and stored because you know how computer works. We work with large amounts of data. So at the end of the day, I can now be able to build with that, and I'll come up with a product that helps both myself and several people. So research opportunities also include climate data. For those of you who are into climate and sustainability efforts, you see that where we're heading to now, we keep hearing of climate changes, we keep hearing of green technology, we keep hearing of different, in fact, global warming is a lot now, it's driving crazy. And so we need this data to be able to make predictions, to be able to do, that's why the existing data supports research to be done. So if there is a trend going in this way, how do we actually respond to it appropriately so that we can be able to bridge the gaps that already existed? If you are also in language or heritage preservation, you can find a research opportunity there because everybody has a root and you speak a language and there's a heritage that you should be encouraged to preserve. And also those who are into health misinformation, gender gap studies, and knowledge inequality. So these are different research opportunities that you can actually decide to build upon and develop further. So when we talk about, people ask the question, where can we find this data that you keep talking about? Oh, Wiki platform has a lot of data. Where can we find it? I put together a list and links here on these slides. I believe you can see the slides. So these are like access points where you can find reasonable data. One of the primary sources that most people often go to is Wikidata. Wikidata is one of the most powerful platforms that we have because it contains data in a structured format. In fact, we call it a free knowledge base. And so on Wikidata, you can find practically data about anything that is already existing as much as is available. So you can pull data. So what we do that, we call it query. So once you run a query, for example, I want to know the number of computational scientists in Nigeria. And I don't know how to gather that information. So I can go on Wikidata and run a query and ask, can you tell me, or can you give me a list or a number of computational scientists in Nigeria? It does the search within seconds and gives you a list of all the existing computational scientists in Nigeria. If you want to find, okay, I need to know how many computational firms, organizations, or academic institutions that are in Africa, I can go on Wikidata, run a query, and so just like that, depending on what your interest is, you can find different data for some different topics. Also, we have APIs. I was thinking of how to explain APIs for people who maybe not be very much knowledgeable about that. So think of it as you are the chef. There's a chef. There's something that needs to be cooked, and then there's a kitchen. So without the chef and the ingredients, the food will not be able to. You cannot get food. And without the kitchen, there's no way you make the food. Without the chef, who's going to, and you have an ingredient. So it's a network. So you need this data, but this data is stored in a platform, and you cannot just go and get it. So what the API does is like a waiter. You send API an errand, and the API gets to source those informations and responds to you back and gives you that information in different formats. You can have it as a HTML format or other different textual formats as well. So that's what it does for you. So we have also event streams. We have REST API. We have Spark. So Sparkle is a programming language. I don't know if you're familiar with it. For you to be able to actually interact with Wikidata's data and run queries, you need to have an idea of Sparkle. But if you do not have an idea of Sparkle, there's also an alternative for you. We have the query builder. So what the query builder does is it's like an interaction. So it asks you, what are you looking for? What data do you want? And then you put it in. So that's an alternative for people who don't know how to write the programming language, who don't know how to write Sparkle. Some people call it SparkL. Yeah, you can also learn it too. It's pretty easy if you put your mind to it. But basically, you need to just have an idea of code. So if you have an idea of code, you can easily pick it up. We also have different research tools. I think I've spoken about Sparkle already. We also have query that run SQL queries. SQL is also another programming language. We have page views analysis. So what you can do with this tool is that, for example, if you want to know the number of, you are running a Wikimedia research, and you want to know the number of people who have interacted with articles related to genocide. So you can go to articles about genocide and see the number of views, number of people. It gives you an analysis, also gives you in graphical format, depending on how you want your data to be. And you're able to see, okay, number of readers, people who have read these pages, you see number of people have edited these pages, and that data will just informs you, okay, you'll be able to tell what is the readership data like. Also, we have PET scan. What you can do with PET scan is that it helps you to pull articles or data that are in categories. So if you are focusing on something about science, maybe scientists in Africa, for example, what you can use PET scan to do is that
this meeting is being recorded.
It can pull all the data and information regarding to scientists in Nigeria for you, maybe list of scientists, list of scientific organizations, and all of that. You can just have the data and build upon it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. I have colleagues who are they built games, like games through Wikidata's data. We did a project sometime last year, and what we're doing on the project was we're trying to build a game. So, but we're trying to find what data particularly can we use. And so we're like, okay, let's use Wikidata's data. So first of all, we tried to translate a list of video games on Wikidata. We ran the query and brought out hundreds of video games. And so we tried translating these to other languages aside English. And then at the end of the day, we did the query again and pulled all that data. And that's what we used to build. So you can, if you are into research, if you are a developer, if you are into design, as a designer, we have Wikimedia Commons. And what Wikimedia Commons does for you is that it's like on your phone, you have a gallery, right? So on your gallery, you find images, videos, and all of that. That is where you store all media content. And so if you are running a research and you are looking for where to even find raw existing data about images about whatever it is you're looking for, you can go on Wikimedia Commons and just on the search bar type Uyo, you see different images about Uyo, we're trying to find the map of Uyo, you don't need to go on Google and start looking for a map. You can find that map on Wikimedia Commons as long as it's existing. You can also publish your research works in form of PDF formats or DJVUs. So there are a lot of opportunities that you can find on. Also, we have, for those who are very experienced developers, we have Pals 2.4. 2.4 is where we can host our tools that we've already built. If you are working, for example, if someone comes up with a research idea in computational science and build a tool, and you want to host it freely, you build a tool and you want to host. These days, hosting platforms now charge a lot of money. So if you also want to host freely and deploy your tool, you can do that on Toolforge. We also have cloud services where you work for those who build boards, Python notebooks. These are more like tech stuff. So you find it more useful if you're like a developer or tech client. We have Scholia, we have the Wikipedia library. So on the Wikipedia library, you have free access to journals and databases. Basically, a lot of information you can find there. I think you should explore that as well. We also have the citation forms. I think Hilary already spoke about that earlier. If you have content, there's like a misinformation you're trying to solve, a problem of misinformation in Nigeria, and you're trying to say, okay, there are a lot of statements, there are a lot of articles, there are a lot of claims, but you can't find reliable sources. So baseline research, you try to say, okay, what's the source of misinformation? How do you now solve the problem? And so if you don't understand the cause, you can't be able to get a solution. So using the citation hunt tool, you can be able to find what are these articles that have this information in it, and then find reliable sources and go and edit it and add it. And with that, you've already done like a lot of good work there. Also, we have div2 and page history. So with that, you can be able to track every change that has been made or any vandalism action that happens. Because Wiki platform is open for anybody to edit and contribute positively. A lot of people also have their bias and they try to sometimes cause disruptive edits or possible vandalism. And the only way to keep the information reliable is having people who work behind the scenes to actually spot this vandalism in articles, spot these disruptive edits, and try to correct them, as well as warn those users who actually do this. And people who actually do not respond positively, you can be blocked from editing. So people say it's a misconception anyway that Wikipedia is not reliable. We have both, we have humans, we have volunteers who are working behind the scenes. We also have users with extended rights who patrol what contributions, what other volunteers are doing, just so that the information you find remains reliable. So we place a premium on source reliability across all Wikimedia projects. If you remove that, you'll find Wikipedia will become a bin, a trash where anything goes. And so these principles and policies are in place so that whatever information you find and you want to use as a researcher, imagine you are doing a research work and you say, oh, you can actually go to Wikidata and get a research, and you go on Wikidata and later you find it's not even reliable. It just brings you back to zero. So that's why reliability is very important to us. Try to run it. So what are research ethics that you should know? First of all, know that we are real people actually doing this work. It's not some ghost or machine. And try to respect privacy. I was speaking about that earlier. When I was doing my undergraduate project, there are some people you approach, they tell you that, please, not interested. Don't need to force them and say, please now help me now. You don't need that. Please now, I have target to meet. It's none of their business. So you have to respect people's privacy. If they are not interested, that's fine. Also, there are some data that are licensed. So if that data has a particular license, if it's an open source license or not, luckily for us on the Wikimedia platform, our data is all licensed under the Creative Commons. And even with the Creative Commons licensing, you need to be able to know the particular reuse policy. So there's some data that's you can use it all, but you need to give credit to the source. That also, if it's in the public domain, then you can use those data without giving any credit at all. There are also licenses that says you can use the data information, but you need to give both credit to the source and the original author. So there are different use cases for each of these licenses. I need to be able to understand it and follow it, because in Nigeria, for example, we have this copyright issue. A lot of people don't give credit, and the law of piracy happens. But in more advanced countries, and they take it very seriously, you can actually be sued when you breach privacy and copyright policies. Also, make sure that you share this data responsibly. The fact that the data is open doesn't mean that you should manipulate it to your own personal, selfish, or controversial gain. Try to be more positive and innovative with what is available than doing the opposite. And avoid the anonymization. So what this simply means is, if there are people who share data to you and they want to be anonymous, don't try to manipulate behind the scene and publish those things. Examples, sometimes people go on a project work and they try to do documentation, and maybe they get to see people who give their audio, they donate their audio or a video format or even text. And at the end of the day, they say, okay, I don't want, let me use this program, I don't want to make my face show, or I don't want my name to be there. They just want to maintain anonymity. But behind the scene, for one interest or the other, some people can be tempted to de-anonymize, and that's very wrong. So we should, as researchers, we should actually avoid that. And this is a slide here. On this page, I have more links, and these are documentations for research, for Wikitech, for developer, and API documentations. All of these, I put them here. I believe that in the long run, we have more sessions. We have to do demos and practicals of how you can actually pull data from Wikidata's platform, from Wikipedia, and other wikis as well. So, I don't know if we have questions. I would love to take them. Thank you very much.
Okay.